Urban Therapy with Sun752, and this is your daily Go Getimism number 492 for February 7th, 2016. Tonight, I want to talk to y'all about survivor's guilt. Now, last night was parental guilt, but this is survivor's guilt. And survivor's guilt is the remorse that you feel when somebody has died and you feel like it should have been you instead of them. It's a terrible situation to be in because it gives us the false sense that we could have controlled somebody else's demise in exchange for our own. And life is supposed to be an enjoyable experience, and you should never wish that you had died instead of somebody else. Of course, we don't want to be happy that someone else has passed, especially someone who was healthy, vibrant, and seemed like they had a lot left. This is what I want to say about survivor's guilt up front. When somebody passes away, it's their time to go. We all have to leave this earth at some time. We don't know when that time will be if we're healthy. Sometimes if we're sick, they can predict how long we'll live, in cases of when you have a terminal illness. But other than that, you don't know when your dying day is gonna come. So you don't have any control over that unless you murder somebody or arrange for yourself to be murdered. In the case of like a lethal injection or something like that. Other than that, we pass away when it's our time. And it seems untimely for a lot of us, but when it's time for us to go, it's time for us to go. And that's God who determines that. We don't have nothing to do with that. Even if you don't believe in God, something in the universe says that, look, the time is up. It's time for you to go. And that's why when people die, they're gone. But anyway, moving on with survivor's guilt, that's a terrible situation to be in because you really feel like there's something that you could have done in order to prevent somebody else's death. And there's nothing wrong with feeling like you could have done something to prevent somebody else's death if it is in any way within your control. However, why would you want it to be you instead of them? An exchange of death doesn't make anybody else happy. You're still going to have grieving loved ones who are going to wish that it was somebody else instead of you. So the cycle goes on and on and on. We have to understand what life and death is really about. But it's really, really a depressive state when, let's say you get into a car accident. Let's just as an example. Let's say you get this brand new ride and you want to show off your ride to a friend of yours or a loved one, whatever. So y'all driving down the expressway or the highway or whatever, and you're opening up this new car because it has an engine that's really, really powerful, and you want to see how fast it can go. Well, maybe the weather conditions weren't all of that good in order to do this kind of driving, but this is supposed to be the type of car that can handle anything. And just by chance, you lose control of the vehicle, and the person that's in the car with you dies. They are thrown from the vehicle, and they die. They succumb to their injuries. And you may be really hurt severely also, but you survive. It's easy to blame yourself in that scenario, and it's easy to wish that somebody else had lived instead of you because you feel so depressed and guilty over that. But that's the luck of the draw. That's the way things were supposed to happen. We don't like that it happened that way, but the proof that it was supposed to happen that way is that you're here. You're still here, and they're gone. Now, the question that you have to ask yourself is, what are you going to do with your life now? Because you can live the rest of your life being depressed and even contemplating suicide yourself in order to compensate. But that's not going to make anybody happy. It's not even going to make yourself happy. What we need to do in situations where there's serious survivor's guilt is that we need to consult professionals, a support group, someone that can help us to be able to press on, carry on, and value our lives for the rest of our lives that we have to live. When we were doing a radio show earlier this morning, the Daily Go Getimism show, I came across this website, and it was called RealWarriors.net. RealWarriors.net. And the reason that I'm promoting this website is because this was a website designed to help soldiers who suffer from PTSD and survivor's guilt. Because as you know, with soldiers who have gone off to war, they're going to lose a lot of their comrades. And sometimes they're going to wonder how come they made it through when the rest of their friends, their team, their comrades, their platoon, their battalion have died. You're going to wonder how come it wasn't you, especially if, let's say, you came home on leave or something. And it's also for people who have come home or finished their tour and have gotten out of the military, and they're worried about their brothers in arms. So check out realwarriors.net. But I think that's a good website for anybody, a good resource for anybody who's suffering from survivor's guilt. Survivor's guilt is serious, man. Just know that you can't stop anybody from dying. You can't. We all have to get there. There isn't one person that has lived forever. But the spirit of the people who passed before us does live within our hearts and in our minds. Let it be a good way. Don't let it be in a way that you wish it was you instead of them. It's okay to mourn, but don't mourn in a way that is going to put people in a position where they have to mourn for you. Life is a beautiful thing, and unfortunately we have to lose a lot of beautiful things as we live it. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind, and anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, when it comes to survivor's guilt, the best resource that you can possibly employ is a support group. Talk to somebody. Do not keep all of those feelings of that guilt inside. I don't care if you lost a friend of yours or a loved one in a botched robbery attempt. You were supposed to survive and they were supposed to die. You know? You have to live with the things that you've done. We all got to live with the things that we've done. Don't forget about realwarriors.net though. Check that out. I think that's a very good website for people who are suffering from survivor's guilt. But remember, you have survived, and it's up to you to make sure that you survive a little farther. And that's that. The Mind, Right, and Body Better Fitness program every Saturday, including next Saturday, which will be the 13th of February. Make sure y'all come through. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the McVeigh Recreation Center, 400 East Ontario Street. Come through, holler at us, get your workout on, making sure you feel good every Saturday, because that's what we do, and I will holler at y'all. Y'all be good. Super Bowl tonight. Who y'all got? Cam?